Hello and welcome to the first edition. I'm your host, Christopher Williams, and you're tuned in right now to Dallas Digital Marketing Talk, your premier networking place where you can come and find out the who's who in social media and network marketing, dealing with digital marketing all throughout the verticals. So tune in and get engaged, and let's talk digital. Everybody, how you guys doing out there? My name is Christopher Williams. I'm a celebrity brand manager, and you're now tuned in to Dallas Digital Marketing Talk. Well, today we have a special guest that's coming to stop by to talk with us, and we're going to have some fun. Dallas Digital Marketing Talk is a premier platform for you to be able to engage and find out the latest trends in digital marketing and social media. I will be introducing the rest of my team as we get into the segment, but as for now, we wanted to tell you a little bit about what's going on out here in the world with the topics for today. We're living in a world where everything is changing to digital. And I've worked for some of the best companies for Google in my career, also as a record executive in my career. And I've been blessed to be able to see the evolution of change when it comes to digital marketing and social media. And today we're going to be talking about how movie and film went from tape to digital. And who else but to go out and get the best guy in the world right now, this movie is the hottest thing right now, is Arthur Muhammad. So, again, let's talk digital. So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a segment of Arthur Muhammad's movie, Carter High. And when we get back, we'll have Arthur here in the studio live with us so we can kind of ask him some questions. Let's check it out.
If you didn't have football, what would you be doing?
In Texas.
What makes you all so good as a team?
I'd say our discipline.
High school football is king.
What makes us so good? Me.
But in 1988...
Carter has in fact been forced to forfeit their final 3 games due to an ineligible player.
You say he passed. His report card shows he passed. But the UIL say he failed.
One team had to fight.
These young boys should not be punished for some grown man mistakes.
Just to step on the field.
My staff and I will fight as hard in the courtroom as those boys fight out on the field.
Welcome to Carter High, one of the best high school football teams ever.
So you think this has something to do with the school being predominantly black?
If the school was mostly white, none of this stuff would even be happening.
Nothing worth having is gonna be easy.
I think I'm losing them.
Now you go on out there and you defend your boys.
Football is about making good decisions, and gambling don't build character.
So what we supposed to do if we can't practice?
You stay focused. We're waiting on a phone call to see exactly what's going on.
Attention, faculty and students. I've just been informed by the Dallas superintendent that our football team has been reinstated into the playoffs.
I'm back in this bitch with a business and no, I'm not here by mistake. I'm hungry, I'm just here to eat, and I see it's a lot on the plate.
Charles S. Dutton, Vivica A. Fox, Pooch Hall, David Banner.
I want y'all to know there's this little thing called destiny. It's something you got to go out and get.
Carter High.
So what you waiting for?
Carter High. Man, what a hit. Well, everyone that's out there tuning in, if you're in the UK, if you're in Japan, if you're in Africa, wherever you are in the United States, I know you heard of this movie, Carter High, which features veteran actors like Vivica Fox and Charles Dutton. Critically acclaimed celebrity filmmaker Arthur J. Muhammad joins Dallas Digital Marketing Talk today. Give him a warm welcome. What up, Arthur?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Man, we're so thankful for you to stop by and talk to us today on Dallas Digital Marketing Talk, man. So how's everything going?
Everything's going great. We're trying to keep it moving, keep pushing Carter, and starting on a couple of new projects.
Man, you're a busy man.
Trying to stay busy anyway, you know?
I know. I had the secretary to try to reach out to get in touch with you, man, just to try to get your schedule. Man, it's kind of hard to get you, but I'm thankful.
Well, I'm glad to be here, man.
Well, look, we're going to get right into it. Just for those that's watching, right now, we want to say tune in. Or you can call in at 504-65 on air, and you can be able to talk to Arthur Muhammad and ask him some questions. So we're going to get right to it, Arthur. Tell us a little bit about who you are and, what you do, sir.
Well, like I said, Arthur Muhammad, I'm an independent filmmaker, direct, write, produce, edit, shoot, sound if I have to. I just love the art, the science of making movies. So that's what I do. And
tell us a little bit about your company. Like, how long have you had your company? How long have you been around?
Well, my company is Sweet Cherry Productions, and I really started it from my first feature film, Solitaire.
Wow.
And that was about 2004, my first feature film.
Wow. So 2004, at that time in the game of movie or film, was it tape? And it wasn't tape. It was tape, but it wasn't digital yet, right?
Well, not really tape. It was. I shot mine on film.
Wow.
And so actually 16 millimeter film.
Wow.
And believe me, that for me anyway, I'm so glad I started on film because it gives you a sense of discipline.
Wow.
Where nowadays you can shoot on digital. And so you got some people that just let the camera roll and you can get all the footage you want. But back when I'm shooting film, you had to know your shots. You had to know what you want. And
so you pretty much had to have a keen eye, because if you messed up, it wasn't, you just couldn't go and just make a quick fix.
No messing up.
Wow. So that means you're actually like a pioneer, really, when it comes to evolving with what we're doing today.
Yeah, I guess you can. I never thought about it until you asked me about this, the whole concept of going from film to digital. And I thought that's what made me think, man, I shot my first movie on film and my short film on film. So I had the experience of shooting on film and seeing the transition to digital. And I was one of the film buffs that was like, man, we're not going to never go digital.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, I still have my film camera.
Wow.
So I was like, no, we're not shooting.
So how did you get into making movies?
Man, that's a long story. I don't know how long we got, but
well, I'm pretty sure the listeners, right, Ms. Hudson? I'm pretty sure the listeners want to know just a little bit.
Well, it's actually, I went to Carter High, and that's actually where me and a couple of friends would get like VHS cameras back then, and we would use that. And I used to make skits and that type of thing. But as I looked back, when I was born, my dad bought an 8 millimeter film camera.
Wow.
And I remember looking at the footage when I was young and was looking at it like, man, that the film, just how it looked like a movie, even though it was home movies, but it was shot with an 8 millimeter film camera.
Wow.
So all that came back to me afterwards. So in elementary school, one of the only things I really can remember in elementary school is we had to do a project. And the project consisted of you taking an animated a figure, and it was basically stop motion. So you take a picture of it and you move it, and you take another picture and you move it, another picture and move it. And all the frames, when you took it through the projector real fast, it made it look like it was moving.
Wow.
So that project always stuck with me. And then I was in high school, I worked at a movie theater. So I was able to see movies and watch movies and study films. So that's where I spent a lot of my time.
So for you guys out there watching, I mean, this is something that just doesn't start. I want to pick up a camera. He really just went through a lifelong process of really honing in and developing his craft.
Right. And studying, older filmmakers like Spike Lee and the Steven Spielbergs, Alfred Hitchcock. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I love those kind of films.
You actually went to school. What college did you go to for
SMU.
This? Oh, wow. Southern Methodist University.
Right. So I got a football scholarship from Carter and went to SMU, and I continued to study cinema there.
Wow. I guess I want to do a lot of people know that about you, that not only is he great, behind the camera, he's also educated, which is very important, because in this world we live in, things have changed. And for you being in film, When did you first start seeing the change? When the market started to change and started to move into more of the digital era with film.
Really, from one film to the next. It was funny because my first film, Solitaire, I remember looking at the contract, and in the contract, it was letting me know which rights they had, and one of the rights were digital. But back then, I was like, okay, I don't care. You can have digital rights. What is that? Because it was you didn't have the Netflix and the Amazon and all this type of thing. So I was like, I don't know what digital is. I knew about foreign rights, which I retained those, and then DVD and video rights, which they bought. But I gave them digital too, not knowing what digital would be. Then my next film, Black Angels, I found out what digital was. So I was like, okay.
About what year you think this was?
For me, it was 2008,
Okay, yeah.
2008, 2009.
Yeah, the internet has started really pouring on about that time, so things were starting to change. Now it's way faster.
Oh, wow. I mean, you can make a movie with a cell phone and distribute yourself from YouTube. I mean, so yes, it's changed dramatically.
Now, I had some help on studying you. Ms. Hudson, she also she dabbles a little bit in acting as well, Not only does she's a social media guru, but she also dabbles in acting. So it was she helped me get all this together so we can make sure that we ask you the right questions,
Okay.
So, Ms. Hudson, you got anything to ask Mr. Muhammad?
How was it with the casting of the film?
Wow. Well, my wife, she helped cast the film.
What's her name?
Latoya Muhammad.
Okay.
Yeah, she helped cast the film. And
shout out to Latoya.
And so we started initially with the coach, and that was Greg Ellis. His pick was Charles Dutton from day one.
Yeah, he makes a good coach.
Yes.
Right. So we had him, and then Vivica came on board. And that's one thing about filmmaking is once you can get one good talent, it's easier to get others. So we was blessed to get Charles, and then David Banner, Pooch Hall, Vivica Fox.
Wow.
And I really wanted the boys to not really be like in Hollywood, so to speak, and have names, because I wanted anybody watching the movie to be able to relate, and seeing these guys that's very good talents, but you don't know their faces, you can easily put yourself in that position and say, man, that could be me. And that's what I get from a lot of people that see the movie is like, even though this one is, the foundation is football, so to speak, but I've had people watch this movie that said this had happened to their nephew. He played baseball. This happened to so-and-so. He played tennis. So it could be any individual. It's not the sport.
Right.
It's the action that takes place in this movie, and then, what happens afterwards.
You know what I always tell everybody about you, Mr. Muhammad? I always say that you are our F. Gary Gray. You are our Spike Lee here in the Dallas area. Because I believe that for any producer to be able to capture the essence of the culture, they really have to be here. And you actually are from here. You went to high school here. You born and bred. You walk these streets. So you know the feel of the culture of Dallas, Texas. So that's why we really have to applaud you for what you have done. You've you've made history here. Yes. You really have. And we appreciate that.
Wow, thank you. It means a lot.
So now, let's get into a little bit of digital marketing. Now, you have to obviously have distribution.
Right.
And things now are digital. Is this correct?
Right.
So how do you tie in now digital marketing and social media with filmmaking or movie making?
Wow, good question. You got to grind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, either you're going to pay somebody to do it, or you're going to do it yourself, or it's not going to get done. I mean, so it behooves you as a filmmaker, or even if you're in the music, to have some knowledge, because you just don't want to pay someone to do something,
right,
and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Right. And then you look up and it's like, why you're not getting any traction? So first you got to make sure that you take the time out to hone your craft, I think personally, so you can have a product worthy of getting distribution.
Hold up. Did you hear that? Take the time to hone your craft and have a product that is worthy of distribution. Okay.
Right. And then after you have that product, now that's when the marketing comes in.
Yes.
And in digital, you'll be surprised if you look at it now, a lot of films spend more money, especially urban movies, in Facebook and Instagram to market those movies versus TV and radio.
Yes.
Because society is coming to a point where we choose what we want to listen to and we choose what we want to watch. And most of the time we don't want to watch commercials and we don't want to listen to commercials. Right. So we go to Pandora, we go to you DVR and everything. So it's like you're choosing what you're doing. But if you can hit them on Facebook or Instagram, I tell people all the time, especially in filmmaking, it's such a science and an art to it that we're dealing not just with the conscious, but with the subconscious. So even if you're not going to watch the commercial, so to speak, on Facebook, when you're scrolling down that news feed and your eyes keep, just making contact with it, it does something to you. So maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe the next day you're going to click on it. And then once you click on it, maybe that's an opportunity, and maybe you'll share it. Somebody else sees it, and the same process keep happening over and over again.
And I think that's the key to nowadays. It's all about algorithms. The more algorithms out there with relevant content, the more people are going to be able to find you, number one, and going to be able to click on you. But it's a process to the madness. Am I right, Ms. Hudson?
You're right about that.
I mean, Ms. Hudson, why don't you elaborate a little bit on you're a social media expert, and you deal with tons of people in different verticals of all businesses. Right. I mean, for you, what is your take on now, dealing with how you see movies are being marketed through social media now?
Well, with social media, so many people are using that platform and the revenue, and like Arthur was saying, that's pretty much everybody's everyday way of life nowadays. So for you to be able to get your product on social media in front of the right people, that's only helping your business, and people stay on Instagram, they'll stay on Facebook for hours and hours. So it's only right that you can market. If your audience is there on those platforms, it's only right to market there and be consistent with your marketing on there so that you can get it out in front of the people that you wanted to get in front of.
I agree. And then nowadays, organically, you can get there as well. But, we'll talk about that a little later on in the show. Arthur, seeing that with the success of Carter High, now you find yourself in another space to where you're moving forward now. And this is really a great, powerful movie that's really projected you in another way. So how are you going to, how are you moving it now as far as dealing with like Netflix and, on the digital aspect? Like if I go search for all of this, is it a lot of money that you need to put into an ad spend to be able to find you online?
I haven't really got that involved in that aspect, which I need to. But
so you just pay the people like me and Ms. Hudson?
Right. My thing is this: I believe staying in my lane, and
okay.
I think that which I'm interested in. That's where I try to focus my attention, my energy, and then I hope that I have enough sense to surround myself with people like yourself that this is their lane, and so I have to trust you to do what you do,
right?
And you trust me to do what I do. Right. So I know that digital marketing is very important, and I understand the power of it, and so I understand I need to have people that's their expertise. That's what they want to do, and let them do what they do.
I'm glad you said that because you're dealing with now everything is moving more digital, more live stream. Matter of fact, we're streaming live right now all over the world. Somebody in Africa is just tweeting me and say, "Hey, we're loving you right now." So we're live stream. So live streaming viral. What happens now when you start doing webisodes and things like that with YouTube and you put out a movie? I mean, it seems like it's a little bit different when you reach the people that you don't need to kind of have a big budget now. It seems like you could just go viral just off of somebody, like you say, liking your movie. I mean, does that take away from the craft? Does that enhance the craft?
I think it enhances because at the same time, you still have to have that product. Right. You still, so I think the digital have leveled the playing fields so that we can play with the big boys, so to speak. So now it comes down to creativity, and now you have to really meditate and get into that creativity side so you can have that product that can go viral. So you can have that YouTube webisode that people really want to tune into, and you really tapping into the psyche of the people, and wow, this is what we want to see. So I think yes, it's leveled the playing field, but you got to be creative now. I mean, anybody, like I said, you can take a cell phone and make a movie. So you have, like you said, we're streaming live. These little digital cameras. You got people that can get the camera up in the drones, so we can get the helicopter shots. I mean, you got the DSLR camera, so you can shoot. I mean, people shoot films, movies with this type of equipment. So now it's about learning the craft, coming up with some creative and some unique stories, and then attaching themselves to someone like yourself, for the digital marketing. Because even if you put it on Amazon, I still have to have a way to get the eyes to my movie.
Okay, you heard it.
So, I mean, that's just another hurdle that we have to overcome, but we can do it.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to shout out to Jedi, who you don't see, but he's behind the boards. You know what I'm saying? That's the #1 producer out here that's doing this thing and on air live. We appreciate you, Jedi, and everybody that's watching. And then when we come back, we're going to let Miss Hudson tell you a little bit about her, and she's going to bring you the latest news in digital marketing trends on Dallas Digital Marketing Talk. We're back. Miss Hudson, what's going on?
Nothing much. How you doing, Ms. Williams?
I'm doing great. We really appreciate you joining the Dallas Digital Marketing Talk. She is absolutely wonderful. She does a lot with social media and digital marketing consulting. But hey, let her tell a little bit about what she does, the name of her company, and she's going to bring you the latest news and trends in digital marketing.
So my name is Phoenicia Hudson, and I am the CEO and founder of Foso Social, which is a social media and digital marketing agency, management firm, and consulting. And the tip that I actually wanted to bring today is knowing who your ICA is, which is your ideal client avatar, and it's just a fancy way of saying your target audience. So whatever products and services it is that you have that you're trying to market and get to your clients, you want to make sure you know where those people are and what platforms you need to find them on and how to market yourself that way. You don't want your product or your service being found by somebody that's not interested in even, partaking in what you have to offer. Right. So you just want to make sure that you know who your ideal client is, and that way you can go forward and get the most out of your marketing efforts.
Now, you saying that, I mean, how would you give Mr. Muhammad some advice when it comes to, anyone out here watching, say if they wanted to promote their DVD or their online movie, what kind of advice would you give to the people out there that needs to understand that particular way?
Well, it's kind of within the same stream of what I just said. Who is the audience that you think would most enjoy watching this film that you're putting together? And then from there, like with Facebook or with Twitter, you can do ads. You can pay to have this advertising, like you were speaking to earlier in the show. Organically, you can get there, but they make it a little tougher because of the algorithms. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that you can put together a really nice ad to target those particular people. And like Arthur was saying earlier, once those people see it, they'll start sharing it, and it'll go viral, so to speak. So you'll get it out to where you need to get it out to once you know who you want to see it to begin with.
There it is. You heard it from Miss Hudson from Faux Show Social. And where can they find you at?
They can find me online. I'm on all social media platforms at Foso Social. And then also my website is under construction, but it's also fososocial.com as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, look, we want to, if you want to talk to myself, Christopher Williams, Miss Hudson for Faux Show Social, or Arthur Muhammad, who's our special guest, please call right now at 504-65 on air, and you can win a DVD of Carter High. So call in right now or either tweet us. The first one to do so will win this autographed DVD from Arthur Muhammad's Carter High on Dallas Digital Marketing Talk. Okay? And we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back to continue with Arthur Muhammad.
But I don't have anything.
It's the what's next? All right, we're back. We're getting it together. We're having a good time, and now we're gonna continue discussing with Arthur Muhammad. Arthur, I have some more questions for you. What is new right now for Arthur Muhammad now since you've had success with the Carter High film and other various films? What's new for you right now?
Man, I have a whole lot going on, which is very good. Of course, we have the movie. We'll be going to Carter High. It'll be on Netflix in November, Redbox in November. Of course, you can get the DVD now. You can stream it now on Amazon, Vudu, Hulu. I mean, not Hulu. What's the other one? iTunes.
Oh, yeah, iTunes.
So you can get the movie. Actually, I talked to distribution, and it's doing very, very well.
Is it now?
In Canada.
Wow.
Which I thought was strange, but then when everybody was saying, well, Canada is big in football, and so especially high school football is getting bigger and bigger. So
awesome. Well, look, seems like somebody's calling in. They want to say something to you, so let's put them through. Caller, you're on the air. Dallas Digital Marketing Talk.
Yes. Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Cedric, and one, I want to say I'm very impressed with the show and the delivery, very smooth.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I did have a question.
Okay. What's your question, sir?
Anyone on the panel, when you are putting together a project or you're trying to get started, is there basically just a basic set of guidelines of every day to do things? Like if you're a young person, best practices, things that you want to make it a habit of doing in order to be successful when you're trying to start off a project. I just wanted to know if any of you had any ideas or any advice on, for a young person getting started, what you would do.
Now, would this be about film or would it be about digital marketing? I mean, do you have any idea as a young person? Just give me a scenario of a business, and then we can pretty much chime in.
Okay. Let's take it with film first. And, if you are beginning a project and you have an idea, but you're starting off from scratch, and, what is something, when you wake up in the morning and you're going to work on your project, what are some, how do you accomplish that goal from step one? Not necessarily, each individual, the specifics of the steps, but what is your best practice? What are you trying to do in order to be successful when you start off?
Well, we'll let Mr. Muhammad handle that one.
Very good question. Number one is be consistent. So like you said, when you get up every morning, what I would do, let's say if you're starting from scratch and you're trying to write a screenplay, then I would get up and make sure every day I write at least one scene. And you not necessarily type it out, but on a note card. So you would say scene 1, character A does so-and-so and meet character B. At least do that part. And then the next day, scene 2, just write it on a note card. So by the time you're done with your complete movie, you may just have them all in note cards. And then you'll take your note cards and you will begin to write the dialogue and scene descriptions and everything. But the key is every day work on it. And if you don't know, there's so many books that you can get to show you how to write a screenplay. Or maybe get someone that has written a screenplay before and let them help you. But that's the first thing. And then once you get that completed script, have someone that you trust, a few people that's going to be honest with you. And everything about writing is rewriting. So don't think if you get that first draft, it's going to be a masterpiece. You know, you can have to write that 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But the key is consistency. Work on it every day. You know, even if you're watching videos, you can go to YouTube and type how to write a screenplay. You can Google it. I mean, so if someone really want to learn the craft, it's not necessary to go to school. If you go to school, that's fine. But if you really want it, you can go and search. And the key is to work on it every single day. You're not trying to get it perfect, but you want to make sure that you are applying yourself and working on it so that at the end of the day, you eventually will have a script that you can shoot. And then at that point, you'll enter into a whole new phase. I hope that answered your question a little bit.
Oh, yes, it does. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And what's your name again, sir?
I'm sorry, my name is Cedric.
Okay, well, Cedric, look at what you have. You're going to have an autographed copy of Carter High from Arthur Muhammad. So thanks for calling in. We really appreciate it. And what did you hear about Dallas Digital Marketing Talk?
I heard about it on Facebook. Of course, the digital marketing that you got put forward was at work. And I've seen it come up on a lot of my news feeds. And so make sure I was tuning in today.
Well, okay. Well, look, make sure you leave your information. And we will make sure that we get this autographed signed copy of the hit movie Carter High right here to you. And we really appreciate you for calling in Dallas Digital Marketing Talk and talking to Arthur Muhammad. So, hey, thanks a lot, man. And we'll get this to you. Make sure you leave your information, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Cedric. All right. Well, Arthur, Cedric called in. Anybody else want to call in? This is a perfect time to talk to Arthur Muhammad, the film extraordinaire. If you are in the music or film licensing, please give him a call right now. So we're gonna continue, and we're gonna move forward. We thank Cedric for calling in. So now, I hear you. I hear that you have, acquired a deal in the works or is going on with BET. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with that. BET is huge.
Right. Thank you. Yes, Carter High will be airing on BET September 28th at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock p.m.
All right. That's awesome, man. BET is huge. That's worldwide too. Right.
So that's a blessing. That's my first time really to have a movie on that level, on BET. So that was a very good thing. Like I was saying before, Secret called Netflix in November, Redbox in November, and BET in September.
Wow. What do you think about that, Ms. Hudson?
I think that's excellent. BET by itself. I mean, Netflix is good, but BET.
and how long are they going to run? How long are they going to run the series?
Well, they have the movie for 3 years, so it's going to be on and off for 3 years. So what's going to happen is it's going to run in September 28th, and then a couple of times in October. It'll stop in November, so Netflix can get their run, and then it'll pick back up in January.
You heard it here first on Dallas Digital Marketing Talks, folks. Arthur Muhammad, new deal with BET. So make sure you guys go out there and support Arthur Muhammad. So tell us a little bit about how was it working with Charles S. Dutton and Vivica Fox? I mean, what was it like for the first time when I know you work with a lot of great actors and actresses, but, Vivica Fox, Charles S. Dutton, I mean, how was that?
It's a blessing really to work with when an actor of any magnitude give you the opportunity to direct them. To me, that's humbling, and that's a blessing even in and of itself. But when you deal with people like Vivica Fox, of course, Charles Dutton, that's seasoned and been in the game as long as they have, the best compliment I got from Charles S. Dutton was that I come prepared. And that's the most important thing that you can ask from a director, from any director, is that they come prepared. And so that's one thing that me shooting on film allowed me and made me do, is to be prepared, because I knew I only have this film that's running through this frame, and this 400 feet of film is like 10 minutes, but it costs like $100 and something.
Wow.
And you don't get to tape back over that like you do these SD cards. So it was a different game back then. But so I would always prepare my shots, you know, and know exactly what I want. And I had an editor that I worked with in Phoenix, Joy, and she would always say when I would shoot something, because I actually went to school there also, and that's where I met Joy at. And she said I made it difficult for her to have a choice what to edit from, because I knew exactly what I wanted, and she couldn't use anything but what I shot. So, that's something that I learned, of course, from shooting on film and working with Charles and Vivica. You know, they give you what you want and then some. So you have choices, you know, from the talent to choose from. So that was a blessing.
Do you ever think that you come from traditional tape, film, and then to now digital, to now where things are streaming and social media, and now you are here in your life in this place? Did you ever see yourself? Could you even imagine that you would have made the history that you have been making? I mean, I know sometimes it's hard to see it from your own perspective, but you have really made history.
No, I don't see it, to answer that. And I mean, you remind me of that, and other people do, but I don't let that.
Right.
You know, that don't affect me like that. I just try to make another movie. That's all I want to do. Is tell another story, you know, God willing, and hopefully people see it, and then I want to make another movie.
Well, I tell you what, Arthur, you know, you do that very well.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You really do. Well, you know, another thing I wanted to ask about was digital distribution. Are you teaching this? Because I know you also lecture sometimes and you teach classes. Is this what the new generation is more or less, you're teaching them this particular, or are you learning from the new generation? I mean, does it work hand in hand for you when it comes to, because, you know, now these young kids, they can get those phones and they can tweet and Skype and send it out real fast, and they can chop it up and edit it.
Right.
They're quick. So when you're teaching the young generation, how is that bridging the gap? Because, you know, they got some crazy stuff right now out there.
Well, again, it goes back to the product. You know, you can tweet and do all that stuff all day long, but if you don't have any product that you can, it goes back to that. And I tell people all the time, in the beginning was the word. And when I say that, I mean the screenplay. You know, that's unless you have a good screenplay or something that you can build on, I tell them that's your blueprint.
Right.
You know, and even though you got some filmmakers that shoot without screenplays, but 99% of them you use a screenplay to shoot your movie. So that's where it started at. Before you can even get to digital distribution, you have to have that product, and the way you get that, I mean, you have to be an avid. I mean, looking at news. I mean, different things. You can take one little segment and write a whole movie on it. And when you see a lot of movies today in Hollywood, unfortunately, it's remakes and then remakes and remakes. So the one that can be creative and come up and focus, and like the gentleman called, and you be consistent, you know, every day, coming up with great ideas, and then produce it, and you know, because and then be prepared. Because if you're not prepared, you don't want to have people coming to your set and they're sitting around looking at you and waiting for you to decide what shot to shoot, you know, what you want us to do, you know, that type of thing. Because these are people's time that they're giving you.
Right.
So, because you may not have the money to pay them what they're worth.
Right.
So at least be prepared enough that you can, you know, utilize their time wisely, get a good product. Then you can move to the digital distribution. So when I teach the classes, I tell them, I mean, the product, and I give them the 7 Ps. Some people say the 7 Ps of life. I would tell them the 7 Ps of production. Proper planning prevents piss poor production.
Wow.
You know, so that's where I start my class at. And,
yes, sir.
And that's what that's it.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, you know, Ms. Hudson, do you have any questions to ask?
I actually did have a question for you. With the movie being Carter High, of course, here local in Dallas, Texas, did you get a lot of locals that came out to audition for the film that wanted to be in the film?
We did, and we use a lot of locals. I mean,
Excellent.
I love the fact that when people see the movie, they don't think, number one, we shot it in Dallas, even though we did, but they assume that it was a Hollywood production. Excellent. They assume we have this big budget, and I love that. Cool. I mean, assume that all you will.
Right.
That just means at least it's on the level of that which you used to seeing coming from Hollywood. And so our talent, I mean, you have very good talent here as far as actors and actresses and DPs and, directors. So I wanted a product to come from Dallas that would represent, Dallas well.
Yes, it did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, the movie is incredible. I mean, it's just about choices, and nowadays, these kids got to have choices.
Right, and that's really what it's about. And and I tell people all the time, it's about being able to recognize the whisper when it comes from your friend, even though that whisper can be something that leads you into the wrong direction. And it's easy to listen to that and allow them to take you on the wrong path because it's a friend. Mm-hmm. So your job as a young adult, as a teenager, is to be able to recognize that whisper. Okay. And if it's a whisper to take you in the wrong direction, you have to cut it off at the root, like right now. Because if you think about it and ponder it, and you think about it, and you consistently thinking about it, and you pondering it, next thing you know, you find yourself doing something you didn't have any business.
Right.
And end up throwing your life away.
Well, Mr. Muhammad, won't you tell us a little bit about, some of your future products and projects right now and what's going on with you? Because we know that your time is valuable and you got to catch the next flight out of town. Tell us a little bit about, some of your current projects and what else is in the works for you?
I have a few. I have The Little Voice, which is a screenplay that I wrote, and we'll hopefully be going in production in that maybe October, November. I'm working on a couple of reality shows, not the typical kind you see, but one in particular is Flipping in the Hood, and it's about flipping houses in the hood. So it's coming from an urban perspective to show young people how you can get into real estate.
Nice.
So it's a very good, informative show. I shot and edited a film that Dennis Dawson directed, The Cliff.
Oh, yeah. The Cliff, yeah. I see the truck riding around all the time.
Right. So that should be coming out November the 18th. And a couple of other projects that I'm working on. I'm reading several scripts. Mavs Maniacs, maybe, documentary, from that.
Shout out to the Mavs Maniacs. Mark Cuban, if you're watching.
Right. So, yeah, we got a few projects, so just stay tuned. On Facebook and Instagram, you will see it come through digitally.
Now, for those that's watching, how can they get in touch with you if they just want to do some business with you or want to get some consulting or, get your services? How can they get in touch with you? Tell the people out there how they can get in touch with Arthur Muhammad.
Well, my email address is Chariot, CHARIOT, PROD, which is short for production, @gmail.com. I'm on Facebook, Arthur Muhammad on Facebook, and then _Muhammad_film on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. And Miss Hudson, once again, tell them how they can get in touch with you.
You can find me on all social media networks at Foso Social, PHOSOSOCIAL. And then also on my website, fososocial.com, but it's under construction right now. But you can also email me, fososocial@gmail.com.
Well, we're going to take a quick music break while my man Jedi, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to close out the show. But today was a great day. It was the first day of Dallas Digital Marketing Talk, so let's give everybody a round of applause. So we're going to come back after we take this break, and we're going to take you out of here in Dallas Digital Marketing Talk. Well, we're back at Dallas Digital Marketing Talk, where we talk digital all the time. We're so thankful for Arthur Muhammad stopping by today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yes, we really appreciate what you have done for the culture and just for the profession. We look forward to having you come back by again, and maybe Miss Hudson one day getting a chance to star in one of your productions.
For sure.
Hey. I'm up for that.
Miss Hudson, have you had the opportunity to be in any films or anything?
I've done like some local like short films with kind of like some students, locally in Dallas, and then a few stage plays, but nothing major yet.
So be on the lookout. Yeah, she's awesome too, and she handles social media. That's the reason why so many people are calling in and tweeting us, because that's what she does.
It's funny. This is still really on the subject. A lot of times when people cast now, even in Hollywood, they look at how many followers that an actor may have or actress may have, and based on that can decide, unfortunately, whether or not you get that job or not.
Right.
Why? Because of digital.
Yeah.
So they know if I get someone with 1.5 million followers, there's a good chance that it's going to be in your contract that look, you need to tweet about this.
Right.
Because that's content.
Right.
But see, the more relevant you are when people are searching for you, that's the world we live in now.
Right.
And it's not it's based on relevancy and likes or views.
Right.
So that's why I was saying nowadays, you don't really need to have a major if you know the digital marketing and social media part, because if you know how to drive traffic to that website, which is your landing page, man, you can eat well. You can sell. Because it's the same thing they're doing. They just have more money to invest in the project.
Right.
And into the spin, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So this comes to the end of our show. As we look around and everybody that's looking at us, we really appreciate you guys texting and tweeting and sharing on Facebook and all social medias. I want to thank Miss Hudson.
Thank you for having me.
Who's going to be here bringing you the latest and tips and trends. And also want to thank our special guest, Arthur Muhammad.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want you guys to tune in next week when we're going to have Paul Stewart, Oscar Award winning for music supervision for the movie Hustle and Flow. Paul Stewart also was the former president of Def Jam and Virgin. And Paul Stewart also is the guy that did all the licensing for a lot of the F. Gary Gray, and he has Over the Hedge books, where we're going to be discussing how books are now ebooks on Dallas Digital Marketing Talk. Stay tuned.